think I accidentally killed some people. A lot of people. And I think I'm next. That doesn't make a ton of sense. I know that, but it's true. I think I accidentally became a serial killer. And that I'm the next one to die. This all started a couple of days ago. I wanted to make some extra money on the side, some quick cash to buy a new gaming console. So I downloaded this app where I could apply for some quick and easy jobs and hopefully make a couple extra bucks on the side. At first, everything was going perfectly. I'd run a couple of errands, assembled a few shelves, even cut down a tree blocking some old man's window. I'd almost made the money I needed when I saw a new listing appear on the app. One I couldn't resist. $1,000 to anyone willing to test our newest product. That was all it said. $1,000 was an offer I couldn't refuse. And even though it was several $100s more than I needed to buy the console I wanted, I applied anyway and was almost immediately accepted. They had me drive down some back road, put a passcode into a gate, and drive all the way up a mountain before I finally reached anywhere that even remotely looked like it was inhabited. I parked my car and walked up to the front door, checking in with the receptionist, and was made to sign what felt like 1,000 different sheets of paperwork, all of which I didn't bother to read, and none of which I can recall now. All I remember is the lady at the front told me that I was agreeing to never speak about what I'd been shown that day. Naive and greedy, I signed them all, never once stopping to think about anything other than the money. After the woman took the papers, I was told to stay seated and that someone would come out and get me when they were ready. Everything seemed to be flying by so far, and my mind was soaring at the thought of being out of here in an hour and $1,000 richer. I quickly found myself thinking of everything I could do with that money to pass the time. Soon enough, a tall man in a white lab coat walked out with a clipboard in one hand and a stopwatch in the other. He clicked it promptly and called my name. He led me in what seemed like impatience to a small, pale room in curt silence. There was a single table and a pair of VR goggles resting on it. "A VR headset?" I exclaimed at the sight of the goggles. "Do I get to test some kind of new game or something?" I could barely contain my excitement.
"Please put the device on your head. We will record all necessary data and then send you on your way, cash in hand."
The man shut the door, seeming indifferent to the situation. I tried to laugh off the tension and moved to put the headset on. "What am I doing exactly?" I questioned as I fit the straps to my head.
"It will explain."
He motioned the hand with the stopwatch towards the device on my head. "You can't tell me anything?"
The results are more favorable when the subject knows little.
Cool, as long as I get paid. I forced out a laugh as I finally situated everything.
"You can begin now."
The man's impatience may have been a bit cruel, but I didn't really care. So I put the headset fully over my eyes and everything went black. Then a slit of light crept into existence, and the sound of heavy breathing filled my ears. Text popped on screen in front of me, reading as follows. Objective 05. The text faded away as a figure passed in front of a slit of light and it clicked in my head that I was in some kind of closet. I extended my arms forward to push the door open when I noticed something in my hand. A mincing mallet. The kind you keep in your kitchen. It was stuck in my grasp, and for whatever reason, there didn't seem to be a control to drop it. Unwavering, I pushed forward, opening the door and examining my surroundings. I was in some kind of apartment, exiting the closet in the back of someone's bedroom. It feels so real. I swear I felt the closet doors. And don't get me started on the graphics, Hello? A feminine voice called out from further in. I eased closer to the door leading out to the bedroom, trying to stay as silent as possible, assuming the game used some kind of microphone to alert the AI of my presence. And by the feel of it, that was a bad thing. Is someone there? The voice called out again, and footsteps began to approach. The voice's source was outlined in red through the wall, and text appeared again on the screen. Eliminate the object before they can alert the others. I play a lot of video games, so it was almost second nature to me. At this point, I had put the two pieces of the puzzle together, the mallet in my hand, and the woman, highlighted in red. It was one of those reverse horror games, one where I was the killer. So with deadly precision, I moved from behind the wall and swung the mallet at the AI's head, watching a health bar appear over her as the first hit connected, splattering blood across the room. She still had half a bar left, so I swung again, caving its skull in, and being awarded with a flurry of confetti exploding outward as the text again appeared on screen as the room faded to black. Objective 1 of 5. The text disappeared, and the slit of light once again reappeared. I pushed the doors open and found myself in another closet in another bedroom, though this time larger and well lit. However, I could hear the object in the other room, and that acknowledgement highlighted her in red. Is this all there is? I asked after the second crushed skull awarded me with confetti. The text popped up again. Objective 2 of 5. No one answered me. Instead, another stream of light appeared on my screen, and I was forced to endure 2 more instances of obscene violence before anything of note happened. The same seam of light appeared for the 5th time, and I pushed through the doors once more, only to find a familiar bedroom and a familiar home. Fear crept down my spine as terror set in at the implications of what I was looking at. I heard what sounded like footsteps approaching the door, and just like before, a figure highlighted in red. Someone who looked just like me. I took the headset off and sat it down on the table, refusing to go any further. How the fuck do you know what my house looks like? I yelled as the man looked up from his notes.
Why did you stop?
The man asked in a monotone voice, clicking his stopwatch and writing something down on his clipboard.
That was my fucking house! If you are unwilling or incapable of finishing the demo, then we will be forced to withhold any form of payment until completion.
The fuck? Stop ignoring me! How the fuck did you know that? I could hardly contain my terror as I backed myself into the corner of the room, ready to fight my way out if I had to.
Will you be continuing the demo?
The man glanced at me once more. Fuck you! I want out of here!
Very well.
The man clicked his pen and dropped the clipboard to his side before opening the door and showing me out. I all but ran through the lobby, trying with all of my might to escape. I noticed a new face in the waiting room. A young woman waiting in the same chair I was in, and I walked out the door, and I heard the man with the clipboard call her name. I sped away from that building doing criminal speeds to get home, absolutely petrified of what I'd seen. The paranoid part of my mind forced me to check the closet I'd started the game in, but when I found nothing, I just tried to forget about it. I did a couple more jobs, and finally made enough cash to buy the console I'd been saving for. I tried to forget the events of that day with all my might, but a part of me was still scared and refused to forget. And then, a couple of hours ago, all of my fears were brought to life when I sat down to watch the evening news. 4 women had been murdered in the area, all alone in their houses, and all with some kind of blunt object. My gut sank, and I almost lost my dinner to the carpet when it all clicked in my head. Fear lurched in my gut when the women's photos were displayed, and I recognized them all. In a panic, I ran to the phone to call 911, but I stopped halfway. What was I supposed to tell them? That I was a killer? That I played some creepy game? I'd sound crazy no matter what. And I had a more pressing matter to consider. The 5th and final objective of the game. The one I couldn't complete. I ran to my closet in a panic, swinging the doors open only to find it empty. My fear eased only for a moment. I convinced myself that since I couldn't beat the level, maybe nothing would happen. But what about the person who went in after me? What if she beat it? What if someone killed me? Every door in my house is locked, every closet barricaded, and I lie in the corner of my living room wondering if I really did kill those people, if I really am a killer, and if I'm really next.